Hey, Chaz here with Wolfpack Success. So this video is the 100th day of 100 days of rejection, and it was quite a process. It was quite an adventure. I had a blast with it. So one of the days, the first day was to ask a driver of if I could ask a bus driver if I could drive his bus around the corner, and he quickly said no to that. Well, the whole idea of 100 days of rejection is each day you'll go out and ask for something kind of silly, something a little ridiculous, and to get rejected from it to build that tolerance of rejection. And I wanted to do this for a few different reasons. One of the ways that I just wanted to do it as a fun social experiment. I enjoyed watching the YouTube videos of people going and filming and making fun little videos, and I wanted to give that a shot. And also, I want to do this as like a program to work past any rejection that I still had. As I'm moving into more of an entrepreneurial position and creating business, I'm going to come across a lot of rejection. So I wanted to go through this process as well to get past that. So I went through the process, and it was fun. It was enjoyable. It was definitely a pain doing it every single day. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I did it. It was a great experience. It was literally 100 days of it. So I got the full-blown effect. And it was interesting that, like, I remember around day 70, something kind of just changed. The way I saw rejection. I got a lot of people's feedback saying, well, the things I would be asking for aren't really things that I totally want. But it was still making me look at rejection a different way. For example, I would go and ask to test drive a Nissan GTR. And I don't really want it. I'm not going to buy the car, right now at least. But it was still just to ask for it and to see if I could do it. So that was one of the ideas of actually asking for something that would be enjoyable and fun, but I don't really want. That was something that had come up for people that says, well, if you don't really want it, then it's, you get rejected from it, but you don't really care. It still kind of had the idea of working with people saying, no, or saying, oh, we can't do that, and then having fun and joking around with it. And there's also, it made me look at rejection differently as well. Because whenever I would get the next rejection, I wouldn't really care. At a point, like I had mentioned, around day 70, I just stopped really caring about whatever happened. It was always, and I stopped caring a little bit sooner. Even like the first few weeks of doing it, I was still like, oh, this is interesting experiment. I'm gonna go out here. I got a rejection to do today, and it was always a mission. But around day 70, I really just lost all care for the fear of being rejected. And it's not like it all went away completely. It's always going to have, your two sides of complete fear of rejection versus not giving a crap and taking it to the extreme. Excuse me. But it was at a point that I saw it differently. So instead of looking at it and saying, oh my God, rejection, this is horrible, whatever. That wasn't really my thinking of going into it, but any bit of that was still rattling around has definitely decreased a little bit. So that was my experience with it, and it was a fun time, connected with other people. Everyone always enjoyed hearing the experience I was going through. People were checking in, what did you do today? It was a great time, and I thank you for being supportive the entire process and the entire way through. Or if you're just checking out this video now for the first time, check out some of the other videos. So for the first day, like I mentioned earlier, I asked the bus driver if I could drive the bus. And he thought I was joking, but I was like, no, can I actually do this? So that was a pretty fun one. There were many others, but one of the ones that really also stuck out in my head was I was walking from my place to the ferry building, and I live in San Francisco, so I live in about the middle of the city, and it was about a 2-hour walk. So the entire time walking there, I wanted to ask people to, come along, walk with me, see who I could get to go to the ferry building. 85 people said no. I asked 85 people on my way there, so I got 85 rejections all in that day. And there was one guy at the end that he he was working at the ferry building, so he just decided to walk with me anyways. And I'll put a link to that one right here if you want to see that. So that was it. Ask people to walk to the ferry building with me. Ask 85 people. So that was a fun one. I had to say that one of my favorites was driving that Nissan GTR. There's a little dealership down the street from me, and I was not expecting to be able to drive this Nissan GTR. I walked in there, was like, hey, can I test drive it? And the guy actually agreed to it, which is amazing. I don't know if you know what that car is, but it's a $100,000 Nissan, and it's 0 to 60 is incredible. It's got horsepower out the wazoo. All kinds of cool things. This car is amazing. The Skyline was the original version of it, in which I love that car. So anything and everything with that was just an amazing experience. And there's so many other different experiences that I went through. One of them was racing around a store. That one they actually agreed to. Another was having a chug off in the bar, but no one wanted to have a chug off with me in the bar. Some other ones were asking to make a pizza for a customer, but I wasn't allowed to make a pizza. Another one was asking for a piggyback ride, and that one was funny. She had a quick no, and was pretty sure that there was no piggyback ride happening. One of them was to ask to give me a random compliment, and the guy was really cool about it. And he had said, "Yeah, you're a nice guy." It was like a good intention of it. He was like, "You're a cool guy, nice guy." And I was like, "Thanks, man." Another one was asking a clerk to do a Gangnam Style dance in the store. She didn't want to do that. Some other one was, again, asking someone to throw food into my mouth at the ferry building. That one was pretty fun. She agreed to it, and first one hit me in the face, but the next one was cool and it caught it. So yeah, that was 100 days of rejection, and I want to do something kind of different for the 100th day. A big idol, big hero of mine is Tony Robbins. I mean, he's what started me on this journey. He has provided so much value in my life. He is really just, he is like the game changer for this personal growth world. I mean, he's huge in this. I mean, if you haven't heard of him, please do yourself a favor and look him up. He is completely inspiring, has beyond expert advice on any area of your life you might be struggling with. His programs out there are tremendous. I feel like I'm working for the guy that's selling his stuff, but that's how much I really believe in him. Anyways, I want to have an interview with him. I'll do a few interviews with other experts in the field of, looking at how they've gone to the level of success that they've hit, how they create and structure their lives for productivity. And I want to have an interview with Tony Robbins. I understand that's going to be pretty difficult, and it might not happen for several years, but I'm going to have this on my 100th day of rejection, and the idea of this one is to not stop until I get the interview. So even if it takes 10 years, I'm still going to keep going with this. So this is going to be my 100th day, is to have an interview with Tony Robbins. So if you know Tony Robbins personally and you want to hook me up and make that connection, please, by all means. But that's what my 100th day is going to be, and I'll be doing it until I get the interview. Well, thank you very much for following me on this process. All the videos, I didn't video everyone, but I blogged about everyone, which you can find on my website at wolfpacksuccess.com. I'll have some links below as well. Thank you very much for being supportive in this entire process. And if you could leave a comment down below of what you thought of the 100 days, what your favorite one was, just whatever you want to do, that would be awesome. Of your feedback, kind of if you've done any days of rejections. I know some friends have shared what they've been through as well, but if you've been through any as well. Thank you again very much. This was Chaz with Wolfpack Success.